Hi everyone, and welcome to the 15th of December on our Rita Advent page. And today we have this very beautiful doll to colour in. Now she reminds me very much of one that I had as a child, which means that that is the way that I am going to be colouring her. So you have a watch and see whether you think that that will suit you. So we're using our Polychromos, as we always do. Look at her pretty mouth, so cute. And I'm going to start with the light flesh and do her face. I'm just going to go over. Now we have to remember that with these dolls, they're painted, and there will be an even tone across the whole doll with regards to the painting, because that's how they're sort of done. But we have to think about whether we want to put light and shade into that or not, which wouldn't be there on the actual doll. I grab the black now. See if I can get you to see the black. See, no, if I put I think it's to do with the colour of the barrel. The light barrel shows it really well, but I put the dark one near it and it seems to reflect the light more. So anyway, black hair. She has, in the picture I'm using as a guide, the hair is completely black, so you wouldn't see these lines. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it not so dark so that you might be able to see Rita's lines through. So I'm just going to make it lighter towards the middle of the piece of hair. Finding it hard to explain my plan. I'll start off and show you. So what you can see is I'm leaving a light bit there and making it darker around the outside. So basically just add the layers to the outside and draw that colour in slightly. See the sort of movements I'm making, like a flick, to bring some of the colour in. You can also just do a normal colouring action there, and I think that looks a bit more interesting than just doing it all really black. As I say, it doesn't look like the original doll, but we have an artistic license. We can do what we want. So I mean, the original doll doesn't have a flower in her hair either. I think that's adorable. Very cute addition. Now I've messed that up and haven't left enough white, so I'm just going to grab my rubber, my Tombow mono eraser. So I'm just rubbing it on a bit of book because it's really dirty. So it's Tombow mono 0. I think you might be able to see that. And I have to really want this bit to be very white at the moment. There we go. And let's start again. So nice and dark along here, and then just gently bring that colour in. And same here, nice and dark here. And gently bring that in from each side until we've got a line in the right sort of size. That's better. There we go. Now the cheeks in my picture are very, very pink. So I think I am going to use the light purple pink. And even with that, oh, Rita's drawn her so cute, hasn't she? Oh, right. Headscarf in my picture is plain yellow, so I'm going to use a yellow to do the main part, and then just add the dot detail in a bit. So I'm using my Cadmium Yellow, and I'm just going to colour the scarf. So it's going to be quite in a darkish block. I find yellow is a little tricky because you can't always see where you've missed very well. I've said this before. I'm not going to do the bow yet. And so you need to be careful. It's good to look really closely, look from different angles, see what you've missed, zoom in. I realise you're not on a video, you can't zoom in. What I mean is, there's a bit of pencil there. I'm just going to erase that. I don't know, I must have dropped a pencil and it must have drawn on the book or something. What I mean is, grab your phone. I'm sure most of you got a smartphone. Hold it over your picture and set up your camera as if you're going to take a photo, but zoom in. So you can use it as a magnifying glass. Now you can't, I've done this before for a picture and tried to hold it for the whole thing, so that was impossible. But you can use it just quickly to check that you've coloured in all the spaces. So there's a little tip for you. It might be easier to get a magnifying glass, particularly if you struggle with the small areas. I think I could do with one. I'm just thinking about that bow. What we'd do is we'd do the bow in the same colour as these dots. But what colour that's going to be, let's do it in red. I'm going to make this slightly different because this design is a bit different. I'm going to make it a little bit different to what I was going to plan for, but that's good. So we're going to go in with a Scarlet Red. I'm just going to sharpen it. Yeah, I haven't experimented with different, so Scarlet Red, with different types of magnifying glass. I know there are some, I'm just going to do them quite solid. There are different types. There are types that you can sort of hang around your neck. I know my mum used to have one for her sewing, where she would put it around her neck and she could sort of lean it on her to stand it out over her work, so she could just look through it naturally as she was sewing, which I thought was good. I don't think I would manage that with my colouring with the way I'm set up, because I seem quite low, and I'm not usually sitting directly over the top of it, because you sort of tend to sit back, especially when I'm filming. But it might work. Of course, some people have a light with a magnifier in, so that sounds quite interesting. Again, you would need to be able to place it directly above your book, so you need to think about the space you're in. A handheld one is fine, but of course you've got to hold it, and that's going to make your hand ache. I'm going to do this really lightly, the whole of this to start with, and then think about how we're going to shade it in. So I think here towards the knot, it's definitely going to be darker. All bows would be, where they're sort of scrunched in, and then lighter towards the edge. And the same on this side, so we're darker here and lighter towards the tip. Now on this, I'm thinking maybe it'd be a bit darker at the bottom. I don't know why. Excuse me. Okay, now this bottom part I'm going to do in blue. As I say, it's a little bit different to my doll. My doll had a sort of flesh coloured tummy with a red bit at the bottom. But anyway, that's okay. I've seen there are quite a few dolls that have a nice blue colour. I'm just looking at the photos. I've got some photos on my screen. Which shade of blue tends to be used, and I'm thinking this looks closest. This is Cobalt Blue. I don't know if you can see that, and I'm going to use that for the whole of this base, and then we will think about the flowers. I was thinking of doing those blue to start with, but now I've changed my mind on the base colour, which I'll have to do something different, or else they're not going to stand out. So again, just because I want this to look quite solid, I'm going to have to do quite a few layers. Okay, so I'm just going over and over. I'm trying not to press mega hard. I don't want to spoil the paper. I've forgotten to put a piece of paper behind this page. So I hope it's okay. It looks fine, but there's no colouring underneath it, but need to be a bit careful. The paper in this book is pretty good, I think. It's not quite as thick as Johanna Basford books, but it's still nice. I was watching a review of a book the other day. I think it was Colour with Claire. She does a lot of reviews. And it was a spiral bound book, and the paper in it was thick cardstock. It's like, goodness me. That's right, it was a book which had grayscale on one page, and on the facing page it was just plain, so you could choose whether to colour the grayscale picture or not. I sort of have thought a lot about grayscale books. I think they look quite fun, but then again I wouldn't know how to colour them. Do you just colour in a block and let the underneath shading show through? So am I going to find that interesting enough? Will it teach? I think would teach me a lot though. And it might be nice for days when you're like, you know, I'm not in the mood for that's a bit darker than I was intending, but I think it works. You might just think I'm not quite in the mood for doing shading. Let's just do the grayscale book. I'm going back to the light purple pink that I used for the cheeks, and I'm going to do this heart. It's really cute, isn't it? I don't think they normally have a heart. I think Rita's added that in. She does such cute pictures. Now this is black, obviously, but it's a plant. If you would like to do that green, you could go over it in a gel pen or a Posca pen. Now the colour of my green Posca pen I'm not very keen on, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it black, but it's an idea. I think it would look really nice in green, but as I say, I haven't got the right tools to do that, so I'm going to leave it. Now these flowers, I'm just looking for ideas on the dolls that I can see on my on my search engine. And we have all sorts of pretty blue, pink, yellow, all sorts of colours. But I'm wondering whether to do, because we've got a lot of primary colours here, haven't we? I'm thinking we're sort of missing green. And I'm thinking maybe I do a green for the centre of the flower. And that would be quite nice. So I'm picking this grass green, which you might be able to see. And doing the middle. I think that will brighten and add a new tone to the page. There we go. And I'm thinking maybe a nice pink or purple. She says, pondering aloud. Yeah, let's do this colour. This is a pinky purple, so it's sort of compromising. It's the crimson. Now in my brain, crimson is the most reddy red you can get, but this, oh, hang on, we've got crimson going on in there. Look, lots of it. Nope, gonna change my mind and do it. Yeah, let's go fuchsia. It's a really bright pink. It's very different. You won't be able to read that. Okay, are we central? Yeah. Now again, because we're not doing shading on this picture, we haven't done any so far, because I'm thinking, you know, she's a painted doll, so she won't, it's not real, it's paint. So it'll be, I'm just going to do it plain. Oh my goodness, that doesn't match that green at all. I think that looks awful. Oops, clash, clash, clash. We shall attend to that in a minute. Not a fan. You might be happy. I'm not. But it's easy to get sorted, hopefully. Okay, so we're going to grab a different green. We're going to grab a dark green. This is not really dark. This is permanent green olive. You'll have to believe me. It's sharpened below. And we're going to go over the top. Now, it's not going to go as dark as this pencil because it's got the light green underneath, but hopefully it will just make it slightly more agreeable. I like that. That's much better. There we go. So I think we finished colouring our doll, but I want to do one final step. I'm just trying to find the right pen now. I am going to do a shine on her body, because she's painted, she'll be shiny. Now, it's not going to show up on the yellow very well, so I am going to start here, but I'm going to take it down to here where it will really show up and actually go through the date. There we go. So she's got a little bit of a shine on her body as well as on her hair. You could put some on the top, but again, because it's yellow, it's not really going to show up. So there she is, our little doll. I think she's so cute because Rita's drawn such a cute doll. So I hope you're happy with those colours. You can always swap them about and we'll do them differently. If you had a doll as a child, you might want to do her those colours. But there we go. So that's the end of today's video. Please click like if you like it. It is always nice to see your likes, and drop me a comment as well. Sometimes it's nice if you want to say anything to me. And if you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It's just nice to see all those subscriptions coming in. So thank you so much and happy colouring.